My beloved child, there is something you have never fully understood about your own heart. While you have been wondering whether your kindness was unnoticed, whether your loyalty was forgotten, and whether your love was ever enough, someone has been quietly looking toward heaven with one simple prayer. They are not asking for riches. They are not asking for fame. They are not asking for power. They are asking for a love that feels exactly like yours. This is not because you are perfect. It is because your heart carries something rare that this world has almost forgotten. Every disappointment you survived shaped a compassion that cannot be purchased. Every tear you hid created a strength that cannot be copied. The strange part is that you never realized your greatest treasure was the way you continued to care, even after life gave you reasons to stop. And today, an unseen chapter begins to unfold. Before this story reaches its deepest revelation, you must understand one truth. The person praying for a love like yours has already crossed your path in a way you never expected. You may remember an ordinary moment that felt completely meaningless. A passing conversation. A silent smile. A brief glance. A simple act of kindness that disappeared into the crowd. Yet what looked ordinary to you became unforgettable to someone else. They noticed the patience in your voice. They noticed the peace you carried when others were losing theirs. They noticed how you treated people when there was nothing to gain. Those moments became answers to questions they had carried for years. They began comparing every person they met to the kindness they once witnessed in you. No one matched it. No one came close. Quietly, they whispered another prayer. They hoped that somewhere, somehow, they would meet someone with that same heart again. They never imagined the answer had already been standing before them. This is where the story becomes astonishing. They are closer to discovering the truth than either of you realizes. There is another layer you cannot see yet. Every genuine heart leaves an invisible mark on the lives it touches. Your words have stayed inside people longer than you know. Your forgiveness has healed wounds you never saw. Your encouragement became someone's reason not to give up. You walked away thinking nothing extraordinary had happened. Yet heaven records moments differently than people do. The smallest kindness often creates the greatest echo. Someone has spent countless nights wondering whether a heart like yours truly exists, because every place they searched seemed filled with disappointment. They almost stopped believing. Then a memory returned. Your face. Your voice. Your presence. Suddenly their hope came alive again. They started praying with greater faith than ever before. They did not know your entire story. They only knew that meeting you changed something inside them forever. But there is one detail they still do not know. And when they finally discover it, everything they believed about love will change. The reason this moment feels delayed is not because the story has been forgotten. Timing often protects what is precious. Imagine receiving the greatest gift before you are ready to understand its value. Imagine hearing the answer before learning the question. That is why every chapter has unfolded exactly as it has. The waiting has shaped wisdom. The silence has built patience. The unanswered moments have prepared hearts that were once too distracted to recognize something genuine. Even now, while you are listening, pieces are quietly moving into place beyond what your eyes can see. A conversation is approaching. A realization is growing. A memory is becoming impossible for someone to ignore. They are beginning to understand that what they have searched for everywhere else has always pointed back to one unforgettable kind of love. The love they have been praying for carries the same quiet strength that lives inside you. The next revelation is the one that changes everything. The prayer they whispered was never simply about finding another person. It was about finding hope again. Every word they spoke with faith has been preparing them for an encounter that will feel too meaningful to dismiss as coincidence. When that moment arrives, they will recognize something familiar before they understand why. Their heart will become strangely peaceful. Their thoughts will return to memories they tried to forget. Questions they carried for years will suddenly begin finding answers. But there is one hidden truth that has remained covered until the perfect moment. That truth has the power to connect every mysterious event, every unexpected delay, and every silent prayer into one extraordinary story. And when that final piece is revealed, you will understand why someone has been praying, with all their heart, for a love exactly like yours. A new chapter quietly begins before anyone notices it. While you continue living your ordinary days, someone else has started paying attention to the smallest signs around them. Certain memories refuse to disappear. Familiar words suddenly sound different. Even places they once walked without emotion now remind them of one unforgettable feeling. They cannot explain why this is happening. They only know that something inside them keeps leading back to the same thought. The remarkable part is that this change did not begin overnight. It started with one unanswered prayer, then another, and another, until their heart became ready to recognize what had always been hidden in plain sight. Every step they take now feels like it is guiding them toward a truth they can no longer ignore. Yet the greatest surprise has not arrived. There is one missing piece that will transform every memory they carry into something far more meaningful than they ever imagined. Have you ever wondered why some people enter your life for only a brief moment, yet remain in your thoughts for years? The answer is deeper than coincidence. Some meetings leave an invisible imprint that time cannot erase. That is exactly what happened here. Long after the conversation ended, long after the moment seemed forgotten, your kindness continued speaking inside their heart. Whenever they faced disappointment, they remembered your calm spirit. Whenever they questioned whether genuine love still existed, they remembered the way you treated others without expecting anything in return. Those memories became a quiet light during their darkest seasons. They never told anyone. They never revealed how much that single encounter meant. Instead, they carried it silently, believing they might never experience anything like it again. But the silence is beginning to break. Something unexpected is preparing to bring forgotten emotions back into the light. Meanwhile, you may have questioned your own value without realizing how deeply you had already influenced another life. There were days when you felt unseen. There were moments when you wondered if your efforts truly mattered. Yet while those doubts filled your mind, someone else's faith was being restored because of the example you had unknowingly given. They never thanked you. They never explained what changed inside them. They simply continued hoping that one day they would meet a heart that carried the same warmth, the same patience, and the same quiet strength. Then an incredible realization slowly began to unfold. Every quality they had been praying for already existed in the person they once overlooked. The more they reflected, the clearer everything became. Suddenly, the past no longer looked ordinary. It looked like the beginning of a story they had failed to understand. Now the mystery grows even deeper. There is a reason certain memories return when life reaches an important turning point. They do not return to create regret. They return to reveal purpose. Someone has reached exactly that moment. Their heart is no longer searching in every direction. Instead, it keeps returning to one place, one memory, and one feeling that refuses to fade. They are beginning to understand that real love is not always loud. It is steady. It is patient. It brings peace instead of confusion. That realization is changing everything they once believed. Every unanswered question is slowly finding its answer. Every closed chapter is beginning to open again. Yet one final discovery remains hidden. When that discovery comes into the light, they will finally understand why their prayers never received the answer they expected. They were always being prepared for something far greater. The most astonishing moment is still waiting ahead. Soon, a simple event that seems completely ordinary will reveal an extraordinary connection. At first, it may appear insignificant. Then another detail will appear. Then another. Until every hidden piece fits together with perfect clarity. Someone who spent countless days praying for a love like yours will finally realize that their greatest blessing was never far away. They were not searching for perfection. They were searching for authenticity. They were searching for a heart that remained kind even after disappointment, hopeful even after waiting, and faithful even after uncertainty. That realization will become impossible to ignore. And when the final truth is uncovered, both hearts will understand that every delay, every question, and every silent prayer was leading toward this unforgettable moment all along. There is one final mystery that has remained hidden until now. The greatest answers rarely arrive with loud announcements. They appear quietly, almost unnoticed, until one small moment changes the meaning of everything that came before it. Someone has reached that exact moment. They have stopped searching for temporary feelings. They have stopped chasing what only shines for a season. Instead, they have begun longing for something lasting, something peaceful, something genuine. Every prayer they whispered has slowly reshaped their heart. Without realizing it, they have been prepared to recognize a love that cannot be measured by appearances or words alone. The remarkable truth is that the answer they have been seeking has been connected to your story far longer than either of you ever imagined. As the days unfold, unexpected reminders continue appearing before them. A familiar phrase. A familiar smile. A familiar memory that refuses to fade. Each reminder pulls them back toward the same realization. They begin asking themselves why your kindness has remained unforgettable while so many other memories have disappeared. The answer becomes impossible to ignore. It was never simply your words. It was the peace your presence carried. It was the quiet strength that stayed with them long after the moment ended. They finally understand that true love is recognized not by excitement alone, but by the calm it leaves behind. That realization fills their heart with hope they believed they had lost forever. Yet one final discovery is still waiting, and it is closer than they think. At the same time, your own journey has been preparing you in ways you could never fully see. Every delay taught patience. Every unanswered question built wisdom. Every unexpected turn strengthened your heart instead of weakening it. What once felt like waiting was actually preparation. What once looked like silence was quietly shaping a future you could not yet understand. This is why nothing has been wasted. Every chapter has carried purpose. Every challenge has added another piece to a story that is now approaching its most meaningful moment. Soon, everything that once seemed disconnected will begin fitting together with surprising clarity. The pieces that looked random will reveal a pattern that has existed from the very beginning. Then comes the moment no one expected. A simple encounter awakens emotions that neither heart can deny. There is no need for dramatic words. There is no need for impossible signs. Peace arrives first. Recognition follows. Then comes a quiet certainty that feels unlike anything experienced before. Suddenly, the prayers, the waiting, the memories, and the unanswered questions all point toward the same truth. The love they had been asking for was never about finding someone extraordinary in the eyes of the world. It was about finding someone whose heart remained full of compassion, faith, and sincerity even when life became difficult. That is the treasure they have been praying for all along. And when the final realization settles into their heart, everything changes forever. They no longer wonder whether genuine love still exists, because they have seen its reflection through you. They no longer fear that kindness has disappeared from the world, because your example proved otherwise. The prayer they whispered countless times has finally found its answer in the most unexpected way. Looking back, every delay now makes sense. Every season of waiting had a purpose. Every forgotten moment carried hidden meaning. The story that began with a quiet prayer now ends with a beautiful revelation. Someone truly has been praying for a love like yours, and the reason was never chance. It was because a heart like yours has the rare power to restore hope where hope once seemed impossible.